Yes, God family. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is having a beautiful morning. Hello. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Before I go take my walk, I want to discuss the fact that reality follows consciousness. Any change, any transformation, any shift that we want to see in our lives, it must happen in our consciousness first. We must be aware of it and we must make an intention for it. Happy Monday, y'all. So a lot of us are walking around just responding and reacting to life. And we haven't necessarily taken the opportunity that we have to be very intentional about what it is that we want to see. And, there are some people that say, well, I just want to have a better life. I want to have more money, right? That's a lot of people's kind of blanket intention. However, that's not clear enough. Wanting more money is not clear enough. We must be clear about the whole picture because money is just a very finite part of living a fulfilled life. Yes, God family, my name is Megan. I am the CEO and founder of Yes God Wellness. If you're new here, we are a brand dedicated to the mind, body, spirit connection. Yes, God, TikTok family, tapping that live. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm really grateful for your fingers tapping this live right now. And I'm grateful for you being here and spending a few moments with me this morning. Uh-oh, you didn't tap yourself out of live? Come back. Come back. So a lot of us, and I myself included, right? When I was in my 20s, when I was younger, my intention, yay, thank you so much, Shawnee J. My intention was just to be rich. I just wanted to be rich. I just wanted to have a lot of money. And I had my own ideas about how I was going to make that happen. And thank you for sharing this live. Yes, God. Yes, God. So I wanted to be rich and I had ideas about how to make that happen. And I had ideas from basically outside sources. You can do this, you can do that, you can study this in college, you can take up that profession, you can do these things, right? And it was very much about me figuring it out and forcing and imposing my will on my life, right? And having a plan, sticking to it, going through it, right? And I had some level of success with that. I was able to get my bachelor's degree in business. I was able to get a job. I was able to, get the car and get the house and blah, blah, blah. I was able to mark off the checklist that they sometimes tell us is the American dream or what we should be aspiring to. But a lot of times what happens and what personally happened to me is I imposed my will. I went ahead and followed the steps. And then I realized, hey, wait a minute, I'm not really still happy. I'm not happy. I don't really feel fulfilled. I still have a lot of anxiety. I don't necessarily feel like I'm living up to my highest potential. All right. And this is what I want to talk about today. So, for example, consciousness always comes before reality. So when we make a decision, for example, thank you for continuing to like this live, y'all. I really appreciate you on TikTok. I wish Instagram would give me some love too, y'all. What's up? Happy Monday. Where we at though? So we always have to make a decision about a thing before we do it, right? From the big things to the small things. If I say, okay, I'm going to be an electrician, that means that I'm going to take the actions that are going to lead me down the path of being the electrician, right? But it first needed to happen in my mind. Thank you, Instagram, for the hearts and the love. I first have to make a decision about what it is that I want. Instagram likes are weird right now. A bunch of numbers and no emojis. Oh, okay. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have to make a decision first, right? Thought precedes action. And so when I was doing the thoughts and taking the action that I was taught was necessary, right? I was learning, oh, the same, I thought it was me. Okay, I don't know what's up with Instagram. Also, I noticed that Instagram keeps glitching. I'm also live over on TikTok. If you happen to have be on TikTok, my username over there is Everything is Perfect Life, or Millionaire Meg, the Yes Godcast, if you want to go over there, because I don't have any glitches on TikTok. I don't know why Instagram keeps glitching on me. So anything that you decide that you want to do with your life, right? Anything that unfolds in your life that you were intentional about, it first started in your mind, right? So that right there is proof that everything begins in imagination, because using your mind to conceive of something that has not yet happened yet, that is imagination, right? So we are all utilizing our imagination all the time, every single day. When we wake up in the morning and we think about our day and we think about, okay, these are the things that I need to do. This is the things that I want to do. This is what I hope happens, right? All of those things are happening in our imagination. We are conceiving of things before they have actually unfolded. And so what I learned was that when I made decisions about what I wanted to do, and I was kind of imposing my will on my life for what I thought that I wanted, for what I thought was going to make me fulfilled, for what I thought was going to bring me money, it did bring me results, but I didn't necessarily have a deep fulfillment inside of myself. And what I realized later on in life was that fulfillment comes from being of service to other people. So a lot of us have been trained and programmed that I got to figure out what I'm going to do for myself, for my family, for my immediate community, right? For the people that are in my ecosystem. However, we are designed not just to solve our own problems and serve ourselves. We are designed by God to solve other people's problems and serve other people. And so when you begin to get curious and open to that question, how can I solve other people's problems? How can I help other people? How can I be of service to others? Happy Monday, y'all. This is when you become open to the infinite possibilities. Now understand, we're all doing it. If you have a job, if you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're doing, you are receiving compensation because you are solving a problem. Whether you have figured out how to solve people's problems one-to-one, or whether you're doing it through the organization that you work for, you are still solving a problem, okay? This is what we're compensated on. Good morning, and by the way, my friend, you is beautiful. And yes, I said is. Thank you, friend. Hey, boo-boo. It's your birthday soon. So grateful. Your lives have been divine timing. I have so many ideas. I started with one and then would get redirected. I have to trust and just try, see what happens. And I talked about this in yesterday's live. A lot of times we move forward on a divine hunch that we get, but because we don't see the results that we think we should see immediately, we kind of give up. And we say, okay, that's not what it is. It's not working. It's very important to be mindful of the distractions that we have in our life, because they will convince us that they are more important than discovering and unfolding into our divine purpose of service. I've been a nurse for half my life, and I have a calling to help and heal people in another way. Yes, God. And like we talked about yesterday, right? The purpose that we have in our life in a particular season may not remain the same throughout our whole life. As we grow, as we evolve, as we have more and more experiences, right? Our capacity expands. And as our capacity expands, now we have new purposes, right, to be discovered and unfolded. Yes, negative thoughts were always going to creep in. We talked about this in the masterclass yesterday inside of the Quantum Prayer Circle. what happens, what most of us have been trained to do, is to follow our logic, follow our, follow what makes sense, follow what society has told us the steps are. You go to school, you get a degree, you get this job, and then you live a happy life. It's 2026 now. I don't know if they're really pushing that narrative as much. I think, at least in my ecosystem, the narrative is now you do what you love, you start a business, and you become a millionaire in 60 days, whatever. But the point is that, how do the quantum prayers, do you do the quantum prayer circle on certain days? All right, so let me take a quick moment to explain the quantum prayer circle. The quantum prayer circle is a community. It's a school community. It's a daily thing. It is a daily thing. I am in there daily. I was just in there responding to people today, and I'll explain what it is. The quantum prayer circle is essentially a place where we go to recondition and reprogram the ego and the nervous system. And so what it is every single day you wake up to an affirmative prayer. So my request in the school community is, first thing when you wake up, when you touch your phone, not first thing when you wake up. Once you wake up and express gratitude for your day and every other thing you do, you go to the school community and you listen to the prayer of the day. Hopefully several times. You listen to it on repeat. And also every week on Sunday, there is a self-concept rampage that is released. You listen to that a couple times. I listen to mine all day long. Every other Sunday, bi-weekly, we have a masterclass. Yesterday was that Sunday. We did a masterclass on the ego as a nervous system response. Okay, so those are the three kind of main components of the quantum prayer circle. We're in there chatting with each other. We're in there sharing our wins, sharing our experiences, making prayer requests. Okay, I'm very active in that group. We have a 7-day, and that's the main part. Then there are tons of courses that I've already done, recorded inside of the classrooms in the school community. There is a 7-day identity reset that you go through. It's dripped out to you over the 7 days when you start. And I've gotten amazing feedback. The people inside of the community are really, really loving it. It's able to allow them to reset themselves and get clear on all the ideas and wonderful things they have going in their mind. They're able to kind of get those out and organize them, which is very important, because our posture in the prayer circle is, God, reveal to me what my next step is. So in the quantum prayer circle, we are learning how to live a God-led life versus an ego-led life. Okay, it's $44 a month. It's amazing. It's transformative. I welcome anyone in who is ready to surrender their will to God's will and transform their life. Yes, God, it's amazing. Also, when I have special paid masterclasses, like I have one coming up on February 22nd called Right Place, Right Time, that will be paid for the public. If you're in the quantum prayer circle, it will be available to you as part of the membership. Let's see. Guidance on how to be kind, patient to yourself. I feel like I had an opportunity a few days ago. Fear and scarcity creeped in. Didn't move quickly. Then opportunity was not there anymore. Now I feel guilty, but I have to also trust that decision was meant to happen for me to learn. Yes, I can't tell if I was sabotaged in that moment or if that was divine plan. Trust is something I am working on. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the comments about my hair. So, it's so aligned that you mentioned that, because one of the notes that I wrote down last night is how some of us have an abusive relationship with ourselves. Some of us are in a toxic relationship with our own self. Thank you for continuing to tap that live in TikTok, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Some of us speak to ourselves very harshly. Some of us speak to ourselves inside the way that we would never talk to another person. We call ourselves stupid. We call ourselves dumb. We call ourselves fat. We call ourselves, we have all of the negative things that we say to ourselves, right? And that means that we are in an abusive relationship with ourselves. Because understand that there is a relationship happening inside of every single human being. And this is what my work is about with my quantum prayers and my self-concept rampages is I am My intention is to give people an example of the way that we should be treating and be in relationship with ourselves. Okay? We should be looking at ourselves as our own best friend. We should be kind and loving to ourselves. For example, if I were to, let me give you an example of me, how I kind of start my mornings. When I look in the mirror, and this is called mirror work also, but I look at myself in the mirror, I said, you are amazing, Megan. You are so incredible. You are so phenomenal. Not only are you beautiful, you're smart, you're funny, you are creative, you help people, you have a good heart, you have good intentions. Yes, sometimes you may come off harsh. Yes, sometimes you may be confrontational, but you have a good heart and it's always rooted in love. I love how you care about people. I love how consistent you are. I love how you remain dedicated to the things that you're passionate about. So this is the way that we should be speaking to ourselves, right? We should be speaking to ourselves as if we are someone that we love. And I realized this several years ago. I was taking a Bikram yoga class and I was kind of struggling with the postures. I was really frustrated. I was really kind of upset. And I took a moment to observe the way I was speaking to myself. And I was like, that's not nice. That's not kind. Why would you say that to yourself? I happened to be in the mirror as you said all that. Yes, God. Yes. And so you may have seen some of my viral content. You know, I love the fact that everything's working out. I love that everything I touch turns to gold. I love that people are looking to me to help them transform their life. I love that I receive testimonials about how I've helped people. Even if you may not necessarily feel that way, remember, reality follows consciousness. You must create your identity inside of yourself before you see your reality align with that identity. Reminder, observe how you're speaking to yourself. Focus on the relationship with yourself. Yes, yes. Because the relationship that we have with ourself is the blueprint for the relationship that we have with other people. Okay? If we're talking down on ourselves, if we're speaking poorly of ourselves, if we're calling ourselves stupid and ugly and, whatever else, unfortunately, that means we are probably attracting people in our life that also treat us that way. Maybe they say those things to us. Maybe they don't say them, but maybe they treat us that way, right? So we have to be so mindful of the way that we interact with ourselves, because it is literally setting the tone for how the world interacts with us. I've had the podcast on constant repeat every morning, even got my mama listening. Yes, God! Yes, God. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so what I'm going to say, if you haven't had a chance, check out my podcast, the Yes Godcast. I made an intention several months ago and I openly did this, and this was the prayer that went viral. And I said, God, show me what good can happen through me, not to me, but through me. Okay? I'm not going to be so self-absorbed and consumed with myself, right? I'm going to open myself up to be a vessel, because the vessel is also the benefactor. Okay? The vessel is also the benefactor. If I know that my compensation comes from how much value I provide, why would I only be looking to provide value to myself and the people in my immediate circle? I'm trying to get compensated the most. You feel me? So I'm trying to serve the most, as many people as I can serve, God. Use me to serve as many people as I can serve. So I'm going to do podcasting. I'm going to go live. I'm going to post content. I'm going to write blogs. I'm starting to write my book, right? I'm going to utilize all of the ways in which I can be used as a vessel, right? All of the ways that I can pour into others, I'm going to utilize those things. I'm going to prioritize those things. And that means that I am going to be intentional about making that priority. My priority is not watching Netflix all day. My priority is not sitting on the phone and gossiping and talking about the past and trauma bonding all day. That's not my priority anymore. Why? Because I've made the decision that I want to be a vessel for God's love and light on this earth in my own special, unique, and customized way. We all have a very special, unique, and custom way that we are designed to serve this world. Okay. And unfortunately, a lot of us are not moving in that because we're moving from fear. We're scared of what people are going to think. We're scared of what people are going to say. We're concerned about how people are going to perceive us. Well, what would they think? Well, I was just doing that last month and now I'm doing this. Okay. I told the story last night in the masterclass about how my brand was founded on womb wellness and yoni steaming, right? I still have my products. I still help women release fibroids, release BV, manage PCOS, manage endometriosis, heal postpartum, release soul ties, release trauma through steaming. I still do that. However, that was something that my now season has shifted. My passion and my enthusiasm has now shifted to this, what I'm talking about now, consciousness, selecting our realities, being vessels of service for God, identifying the God that lives within us, right? So this is an example in real time of how our purpose can shift, right? As we evolve, as we expand, the gifts and the way that we can serve the world can shift as well. And I remember I started doing, I was doing day 1 of yoni steaming, day one of the benefits of yoni steaming, day 2, day 3, day 4, and I was pushing it. I was forcing it. I was like, you know what? This is how I've helped serve people before. This is how I'm going to continue to help serve people. And I'm going to make every single day, I'm going to keep going. I think I had gotten up to day like 50. I have a fibroid and a cyst, so I definitely want to look in that. Definitely look into that. On Instagram, if you check out Yes God Wellness, I have highlights there. I have a receipt highlight, countless highlights of women who have been served through yoni steaming, countless highlights of women who have released fibroids, who were scheduled for hysterectomies and didn't have to do them because they were able to release them. Yoni steaming is an ancient practice of elevating yourself over a pot of herbs. The herbs help with the womb health, but I also now what I realize is it's such a regulating practice for your nervous system, and it's such a way to connect with yourself. And one of the things that I always advise all my clients is when you are steaming, and even when you're not, but especially when you are, consider and imagine the scene where the doctor comes in and tells you that they don't know how, but it looks like everything has cleared itself up. Okay. And this is what I mean about reality follows consciousness. We have to start giving ourselves the opportunity to imagine the things that we want to happen versus trying to force an effort and will things to happen. Okay. Because the only thing we're doing when we're forcing and pushing and efforting is that we are creating resistance against the thing. And that can be difficult because as humans, we're impatient, right? We want it now. Well, I want this today, so I need to make it happen today. But maybe today is not the day that it needs to happen. Maybe there's still something you need to learn tomorrow. So, yes, God. So I was talking about something, but I don't, you know what? I've already learned a while ago that I am designed to flow. I'm designed to just kind of speak organically. I don't really do well with scripts. I'm trying to remember what we were speaking about before we veered off into the conversation about, I don't remember. But I will say this. Thank you for sharing your gift. You're so welcome. Remember, observe how you're speaking to yourself. Yes, focus on the relationship with yourself. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. So you still sell those steams. I absolutely still sell those steams. Yep, I sure do. If you go to yesgodwellness.com, you're going to get a pop-up and it's going to ask you if you want to take the free quiz, or you can just go to the link in my bio and you can take the quiz and you can answer the questions, and it will let you know which blends are appropriate for your particular situation and then what your steam regimen should be. Okay. I used to do it when I lived in DR and I had a bidet, so it was easy. My period cramp stops. Yes, and it regulated my cycle. You said yoni steams help with nervous system regulation. Oh, okay, you didn't say regulation, my cycle. So, yes, excuse me. Yoni steaming is highly regulating to your nervous system because you're sitting still. You're taking deep breaths. anyone who has done a yoni steam, you'll notice that the steam comes, it almost is a pattern of like an inhale and an exhale. It comes in waves. It's not just like a stream of heat. It's like a wave, another wave, another wave. And that naturally is guiding us to be in tune with our breath, to be aligned with our breath. Yes, God, TikTok, thank you for continuing to tap that screen. Moving out of yoni work as much as you were on 50 days, something changed. Okay, so this is what, okay, yes, thank you for reminding me. So I was admittedly, right, trying to force, because that's what worked in the past. That's what I'm known for. That's the problem that I solve. So I am going to, it's not, and I didn't consider like, maybe you have a different purpose now, Megan. Maybe your focus should be elsewhere. And my ego was like, no, you're just not talking about it enough. You're just not sharing it enough. You're just not being consistent enough. Okay. You're just not forcing it enough. So what did I do? I said, okay, I'm going to do it every single day. I'm going to make sure that I commit to making a video every single day about the benefits of yoni steaming. And it was helpful. And a lot of people were made aware. A lot of people were reminded. A lot of people began to yoni steam. And it was great. Okay. And I also experienced a shift in my life where I had to let go of something that had been in my life for a very, very long time. It was a connection to someone. And I was feeling hurt about that, feeling sad about that. And so I basically kind of cried out to God, and I said, and I surrendered, and I said, you know what, God, I am here to be in alignment with what your will is for my life. I know that the ideas that I have and the inklings that I have about what my purpose is, but I am open to the infinite possibilities. Show me what good can happen through me. Show me what miracles can happen through me. Show me what amazing transformations can happen through me, not just to me. And when I did that surrender, I recorded it and I posted it. And that was my kind of one of my official first prayers that went viral. And so that feedback, right? That feedback let me know, oh, maybe I should do some more prayers. Maybe I should continue to be transparent about my relationship with God and the way that I communicate with God. And I continued to do it. And I kept going viral, kept getting more followers. And it felt good to me. It was something that I was enthusiastic and excited about doing, praying, because I am very much focused on God. Yes, God. It's the whole name of my brand, which I'll tell the story about how that happened in a moment, because it didn't start as Yes, God. My original brand name was the Honey Pot. And well, let me just go ahead and say now, my original brand name was the Honey Pot. I received a cease and desist letter from the Honey Pot brand that's in Target. And I was like, oh, she knows about me. Yes, God. I was flattered by that. But I had to come up with another name for my brand. And Yes, God was something that I went around saying all the time. So I was like, okay, well, let's just do Yes, God Wellness then. This was years and years and years ago, y'all. This was even before it was revealed to me to be praying and to be doing these rampages and things. So, and I'm illustrating that because I want to show you, you don't ever really have the full picture. This is why it's so important to trust those nudges that you get, to trust those things that happen, to trust when something fell apart. When I got that cease and desist letter, I was devastated. I was like, I've done all this work on my brand and nobody's, and I was like, oh my God, I'm losing something. I perceived it as a loss. You remember that, right? I perceived it as a loss. But what was happening is God was setting me up to allow things to unfold now. And now, Yes, God Wellness is the perfect name for my brand. Not only do I say it all the time, is it super organic for me and my personality, but also now that I am feeling like I am fully in my divine potential and fully in alignment with what God's will is for my life, it makes perfect sense. Yes, God is about the fact that God is always saying yes to us. What God is saying yes to is not the things that we're asking for. It's the things that we're focusing on. It's the things that we're giving our attention to. God is always saying yes to the things that we're focusing on and giving our attention to. So unfortunately, when we're focusing and giving our attention to worst case scenario and to fear, God is saying yes to that. Contrary, when we are focusing on best case scenario, things being unfolded to us, yes, God is always saying yes to us. Yes, God, because God lives within us. So when we are focused on best case scenario, when we are focused on things working out, when we are focused on, always being chosen, when we are focused on the things that we truly desire versus the things that we don't desire out of fear, okay, God is saying yes to those things. It covers more than just the yoni steam. It encompasses your full embodiment of your brand. Exactly. And it encompasses yoni steaming too, because yoni steaming to me connects you in a somatic, physical way to the God that lives within you. It connects you to that. Not to say you need yoni steaming to connect you to that, but what a beautiful way to connect to the God within yourself. What an intimate way to connect through your sacred portal. I needed this so much. I don't know how I caught it when you said that just now, but I'm thankful. Yes, God, I'm so grateful. Those words are what had me so drawn to you. It helps me so much to say that more often now. It calms my spirit. So yes, God. Yes, because also saying yes, God is an acknowledgement, right? It's an acknowledgement of gratitude. It's an acknowledgement of God has not forsaken me. I don't need an intercessor to get to God. I don't need to be saved to get to God, right? There's a lot of religious patriarchal programming trying to oppress us through religion and makes God this man sitting on high, looking low, judging on if we're being obedient or not. Pardon my French, but fuck out of here, okay? That is so ridiculous. That is such a man-made patriarchal construct that is in alignment with a lot of different things in society. But anyways, God is not separate from us. God lives within us. We have access to God right here. We don't need anybody to bring us to God. We don't need anybody to allow us to have access to God. We have God within us, okay? Yes, it's all connected because you had the honey pot name, which lets you do the Target honey pot, and her products were about the yoni, and it's all matriarchy, dopeness. Yes, God. Yes. And to be clear, she also sent me a very sweet note. Now, I did get the note from the lawyer. Okay, I did get the official, like, nigga, I need you to chill. But I also got a heartfelt note from her team that said, hey, we love what you're doing. Here's some products. But you need to chill on that, boo-boo, because we got this trademarked. And I was like, okay, yes, God. Because that wasn't for me. That wasn't my lane. That name wasn't my lane. God saw the vision for my life. We got to understand this. God has the whole vision for our life already. It is incumbent upon us to get curious about it. And God is not going to give us the whole vision at once. God is going to give what I like to call as divine breadcrumbs. Okay? Megan, you're feeling this way. You're going to cry out to me. I need you to press record. That was a divine breadcrumb. Okay, record. I think I'm falling in like with you forever. Yes, God. And so, when I did that, when I listened to that nudge, right? It's like, this is, I'm going to explain to you how God works. It's like this, okay? When you say, God, I'm ready for you to take over. What I've been doing is not working. I've done all the things. I've had the discipline. I've had the willpower. I've been pushing and forcing and trying to make things happen. And I've been able to make things happen, and some of the things that I want still happen. Either way, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy, God, inside of myself. So when you say, God, I am ready to be truly fulfilled, truly successful, truly feel accomplished inside of myself, not based on my material external markers of success that society has told us, and you say, God, please show me my next steps. And then this is how the step comes through. You get an idea that sparks something in you. You get an idea that excites you and makes you enthusiastic, right? That's how you know it's from God. Typically what happens when you get that idea, your monkey mind immediately follows that and tells you why it doesn't make sense and why it won't work and why it can't work and why you're not qualified to do it. Okay, that's typically the way it happens. So you have to make a dedication to courage. You have to dedicate yourself to being courageous, to follow the nudge, even though it may scare the shit out of you. All right. Even though you are going to be opening yourself up to ridicule or mockery or shame from other people. All right. And so once you open yourself up and God receives the feedback of, oh, you're starting, you want to follow your enthusiasm. You want to follow your excitement. Okay. It will be revealed and unfolded to you step by step. It will be divine breadcrumbs that will be leading you through your purpose. Okay? Many of us don't take those divine breadcrumbs, or we may take the first one or two, and then we can't see the whole picture. So we're like, okay, this is not working. I'm not doing it. I'm going to go back to old familiar, what I know. What I know is going to bring me these results. Even though I'm not really happy with these results, I'll settle with them. They'll be okay. Okay. And a lot of us are going around reacting to life versus having the responsibility, all right, of doing the thing that God put us here to do. Being the person that God put us here to be. And again, our society has done a doozy on making our ego believe that it knows best and that it is in charge. And we talk about this inside the Quantum Prayer Circle as well. Changing the hierarchy. Our mind is not supposed to be leading our heart. Our heart is supposed to be leading our mind. But we have literally been trained and programmed and conditioned from day one, from school, or maybe even from in the home, to believe that if it doesn't make sense, then it shouldn't do it. If I can't logic, if I can't understand, if I can't see the end result, then it makes no sense for me to do it. And that is poppycock nonsense. All right. Living a God-led life means living a life of faith. It means being able to make movements that you don't understand why yet. You don't understand why yet. And I'm sure many of us have had this experience where, you know, it was the right place, right time. I just happened to be in the room when this happened. I just happened to be here. I just happened to overhear this. I just happened, and then the thing happened, right? It's because it feels random because we're not in a state of forcing or trying to impose our will. And you'll notice when you are in that relaxed state of not forcing and trying to impose your will, that is the moment when things click and make sense. Confirmation in synchronicity. Thank you. You're so welcome. Isn't heart the most deceptive of all, according to the Bible? No, that is, and somebody actually asked me about that before. That is a different reference. That's not the heart that I'm referring to. That's a different context. No. Forgive me for not having a clear response to that, but I remember someone asked me that, and I went and looked up that particular verse, and that's not the same context that we're speaking of. It's exactly what I need. I watched Joe Dispenza too, yes, and he said love is the highest emotion. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's really two underlying currents that emotions are coming from. It's either fear or love. We're either being motivated by fear or love. And when you live a God-led life, when you make the decision and the commitment to live a God-led life, you are committing to live from love. And that can be really, really scary. That can be really, really terrifying. Because we have been trained to live from fear. You know, we've been trained, you got to do this or else. If you don't do this, then that. Once you do this, then that will happen. Ego or spirit. Exactly. Exactly. Spirit is love. Ego is fear, typically, because the ego is designed to keep us safe. The ego is designed to keep us safe. And so this is why, again, when you change your posture, when you say, God, I am open and I am curious and I am willing to listen to your divine nudges that you give me in my heart. and then you actually receive them and you actually do them, more and more is revealed to you as you go. And this does not mean that life is not going to life. Life is still going to life. You're still going to experience loss. You're still going to experience heartbreak. You're still going to experience grief. You're still going to experience all of the things that life brings us in its duality. However, when you're living a God-led life, you are able to stabilize yourself that much quicker. You're able to bring yourself back to the center of, you know what? Everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be well. All is well. And being able to bring yourself back to center is really the mark of a God-led life, because remember, reality is preceding consciousness. Reality is following consciousness. So if we can bring ourselves, as the more quickly that we can bring ourselves back into everything is going to work out, all is well, everything is going to be all right, the more quickly that will unfold. But when we allow ourselves to spiral and ruminate about worst case scenario, and oh, now this is going to happen, and now that, and now that, and now that, and we spend all of our precious awareness and attention on the things that we don't want to experience, unfortunately, we begin to co-create with those things that we don't want to experience. So one of the things I talk about all the time is creating our days, right? Day by day, I open up my book and I write down, I am so grateful, especially around the issues that I'm having, right? You know, thank you for the divine clarity that you have provided to me and my family. All right. I love being asleep early and waking up early, filled with vitality and energy and enthusiasm, excited to begin my day. I love how easy it is to keep my home orderly, organized, and efficient. I love eating clean and healthy, right? I love looking younger and younger every day. I love that my top priorities are done because I put everything away in my office and garage, right? So I incorporate the things that I have to do for my day as if they've already been done, and how I feel as if they've been done. So I'm actually, I wrote this last night. So I am co-creating with my imagination to envision best case scenario. All right. So I'm going to do it today. I'm going to write as if today was already finished. I'm going to write today's journal entry as if today was amazing. We had a beautiful, after school, the children were in such a good mood. I was able to be a warm, loving place for them. I was able to pour into them. We had a beautiful dinner together. We had so much fun. Our story time tonight was amazing. Our gratitude time tonight was amazing. Like, I'm going to dictate, right? I'm going to use my imagination to dictate what I want to happen before it actually happens. This is so true about focusing on the fears. Literally, all my nightmares have come to pass because I feared it all. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Our thoughts are a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Yes, you're commanding your day in life. Exactly. Yes, I'm commanding it. At Your Command is a beautiful book to read by Neville Goddard. I was listening to something yesterday by Neville Goddard. Oh, Neville Goddard is good, y'all. Y'all should really go check out some of his lectures. He's amazing. But yes, when you focus on your fears and you allow yourself to ruminate and continue to ruminate, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It will happen. And so again, this is why my quantum prayer circle is kind of the antidote to that, because we are reprogramming what the mind is used to doing all day. We are saying, you know what? I'm going to listen to affirmative rumination. Okay, that's what I would call the quantum prayer circle. It's affirmative rumination. So if you're struggling with negative rumination, quantum prayer circle, baby. I have links in there. They're literally unlisted YouTube links so that you can literally play them on. They will play all day long. All day long, all day long, all day long, all day long, all day long. And just like those negative ruminations happen through repetition, you can reverse them through positive repetition. Thanks for the book recommendation. Love a good Neville. Neville is amazing. Where do I find out more about the prayer circle? So you can just go ahead and check out the link in my bio. Quantum Prayer Circle, it is a school community, or you can just go to school.com/Yes God. That's where you can sign up. Like I said, it's $44 a month, which is a very meek investment. I've had feedback from clients that my work has helped them more than 2 years of therapy. And that was actually the comment that had me open up to start coaching. So I can honestly say that all of the things, the law of expectation, yes, God, 90% of our expectations come to fruition. Exactly. And this is why we have to reprogram our expectations, because a lot of them are really deep in there. Subconscious stuff from childhood, subconscious stuff from adolescence, right? One of the things my mother told me, you always bite off more than you can chew, right? That was one of my limiting beliefs that was planted into me. And I have had to do a lot of work around that, because I am a very robust person. I like to do the most. I'm a Sagittarius, fire sign, baby. Let's keep it burning. What's next? And I would so much rather bite off more than I can chew than bite off less and then not be satiated. Okay, so that's a reframe. I'd rather bite off more than I can chew than bite off less and still be starving. All right, so we can reframe our beliefs. All right, it's not always that the belief needs to go away. Sometimes it just needs to be reframed. Yes, God. So I hope this has been helpful to everyone. I hope everyone is having a beautiful beginning to your Monday. If this is something that sounds like would be helpful for you, I would love to see you inside the prayer circle. I did just release the self-concept for the week. So that is in there yesterday. Also, the prayer for today is up. It's amazing. I'm going to go ahead. This was so divinely aligned. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tapping in. The God in me recognizes the God in you. And I can tell you right now, just from what I know about energy and frequency, if you are here, if you have been watching this, you are ready to be a vessel for God. Okay? You're here. It's through an app. Yes, it's through the school app. So here, I'll run through real quick. So the school app, and this is, like I said, my only ask in my community is let it be the first thing that you do in the morning. Let it be the first thing that you do in the morning when you get on your phone. So you just come to the school app. This is the community. Again, there's daily prayers. See all the prayers in there? We have conversations. The masterclass replay is in there. All of our stuff in there. We have conversations. I really love my prayer circle. It's amazing. We have, like I said, we've had a lot of breakthroughs. We had a testimony yesterday about one of our members who was fretting about a situation she was going to go through, but she allowed her reality to first happen in her mind. She conceived of it. She regulated her nervous system. She allowed her imagination to picture the best case scenario. And guess what happened? It happened. I made a post the other day about finally having a resolve about it. I had been going back and forth with this dentist for years, y'all, years. And they were trying to tell me that I was responsible financially for a mistake they made. And I literally wrote down, I was like, God, thank you for allowing this to be resolved. Thank you for allowing me to be triumphant and victorious. And it took some doing. It took some escalating. It took me threatening to go ahead and escalate with the North Carolina Board of Medicine and with the Better Business and with the General Attorney, Consumer Protected, right? But I received an email from them saying, oh, we've gone back and we're going to go ahead and make your balance zero and we will not further any, whatever. I attribute all of that to myself. Okay. I attribute all of that to my dedication to the resolve in my mind. Okay. Yes, there were actions that I needed to take, but the actions were after I had already decided and committed to what the outcome was. So we shouldn't be taking actions until we're clear about the outcome yet. What's your name on school app? My name on school app is the Quantum Prayer Circle. Where can I show you that? I don't know. Quantum Prayer Circle. You can see it up top. So on my way out, I am going to go ahead and play our prayer. I'll play the one from yesterday. Actually, no, let's play the one for today. Let's play for the one for today. See if there's any more comments. Sending love your way, Amethyst Girl. Yes, God, I love that name too. Hey, Ruben, what's up? Thank you for that confirmation. I'm ready. Yes, God, I just came across your live and all of your coaching by chance in a very hurtful moment, so I appreciate you and everything you're sharing today. I'm sending you so much love. A beautiful question that we can begin to ask ourselves about life circumstances to move out of victimhood, to move into victory is, how can this serve me? Even in the midst of devastation, how can this serve me? How can this reveal more of me to myself? How can this serve me to become a better vessel of service for God? All right, so I'm going to play the prayer for today. This is today's prayer, and then I'm going to jump off and go get my steps in, y'all. So I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope to see you inside the Quantum Prayer Circle. And yes, God. Dear God, thank you for reminding us that we are allowed to be right here in this present moment without splitting our attention between the past and the future, God, even though it's tempting, God, even though we want to focus on the future and how it is going to play out, how it's going to unfold, God. We have been trained and programmed to always put a carrot in front of ourselves, or to always replay what has already happened, God, or to anticipate what might happen next, God. Thank you for allowing us to remember, God, that this moment is not a placeholder for something more important. This moment is where life is happening, God. Thank you for allowing us to remember that the journey is always way more important than our perceived destination, God. Thank you for revealing to us that as we slow down enough to feel ourselves here in the present, to appreciate the present, to show love towards the present, God, that we are being powerful in that presence, God. Thank you for reminding us that when we are fully here in our bodies, in our breath, in our awareness, that we are already participating in what is unfolding without needing to rush it forward, God. Thank you for reminding us that our bodies are not obstacles to spirituality. They are gateways into awareness, God, divine awareness, God. Thank you for reminding us that when we listen to what our bodies are communicating, we can gain so much information that our mind alone cannot access, God. Thank you for reminding us that wisdom is felt as much as it is understood, God. Yes, God. Okay. So again, the request in the school community is just listen to that first thing in the morning. Listen to it again. You can listen to it again. Dear God, thank you for reminding us that we are over and over again. Listen to the self-concept rampage for the week over and over again. Begin to retrain your monkey mind. The mind is meant to be of service to us. It's not meant to lead us. And a lot of people are walking around allowing their mind to lead them. And it's why they're dealing with internal suffering and internal misery, because the mind is not meant to be the leader. The mind is meant to be the follower. God is meant to be the leader. And the God that lives within us speaks to us through our heart, through our intuition, through the random ideas that come that excite and enthusiasm and create enthusiasm within us. Okay? If there's no more questions or comment, let's see. Can you please replay? That was so powerful. I will definitely join the Quantum Prayer Circle. I will absolutely replay. Sure. Dear God, thank you for reminding us that we are allowed to be right here in this present moment without splitting our attention between the past and the future, God, even though it's tempting, God, even though we want to focus on the future and how it is going to play out, how it's going to unfold, God. We have been trained and programmed to always put a carrot in front of ourselves, or to always replay what has already happened, God, or to anticipate what might happen next, God. Thank you for allowing us to remember, God, that this moment is not a placeholder for something more important. This moment is where life is happening, God. Thank you for allowing us to remember that the journey is always way more important than our perceived destination, God. Thank you for revealing to us that as we slow down enough to feel ourselves here in the present, to appreciate the present, to show love towards the present, God, that we are being powerful in that presence, God. Thank you for reminding us that when we are fully here in our bodies, in our breath, in our awareness, that we are already participating in what is unfolding without needing to rush it forward, God. Thank you for reminding us that our bodies are not obstacles to spirituality. They are gateways into awareness, God, divine awareness, God. Thank you for reminding us that when we listen to what our bodies are communicating, we can gain so much information that our mind alone cannot access, God. Thank you for reminding us that wisdom is felt as much as it is understood, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. How do you distinguish between mind and heart? Very amazing question. Mind wants to argue. Mind wants to go back and forth with you. Mind wants to persuade. Mind wants to convince. Mind is coming from fear. Heart is coming from love. Heart is what excites you. Heart is what makes you enthusiastic. Heart is going to say it 1 or 2 times. It's not going to go back and forth with you. If you don't want to do it, that's on you. That's the difference between mind and heart. Mind/ego is very argumentative. It needs to be right. It needs to be right. It needs to be right. It needs to convince. Again, it needs to persuade. It wants to argue with you. It has all the reasons why things can't work. If something is trying to tell you that something can't work, know that it's your mind. Know that it's your ego. It's not your heart. Your heart is coming from a place of love. Your heart is going to be affirmative. Your heart is going to suggest things that scare the shit out of your mind. That's how you know the difference between the two. Your heart is going to suggest things to you that your mind can't comprehend and can't fathom. Open this live at the exact right time. Yes, God. Needed this. I'm so glad. I hope does that answer your question? Does that make sense? What I said about the mind and the heart? Good. Okay. Yeah. And the way that we begin to there's fear, but then the fear that will transform how you can tell the difference. Well, what preceded the fear is the question. What came before the fear? Was it something that came from the heart? Y'all are just giving me all the love on TikTok. Thank you for continuing to tap this live. Can you explain what that means? There's fear. Can you please share the app info again? Yes. So just go ahead and go to the link in my bio and go to, it's called School. SKOOL is the name of the app. You can go ahead and download that. Like I said, I ask folks to turn notifications on because you will be notified every single day. There is a new prayer in there. There is a new prayer for every single day. I do polls inside of there to see what people want to have prayers, topics on prayers. Also, you can always message me directly in the School app with your personal situation, and I will create a custom prayer that will be shared with the group anonymously. Of course, I'm not going to share the situation, but I will create a prayer based on your custom situation. It makes sense that we don't learn in school. Okay? Listen, don't even get me started about that patriarchal, capitalistic pipeline of classroom to cubicle. We're not going to go there because I'm going to get annoyed. I'm going to get annoyed. So again, school.com, SKOOL.com/Yes God is where you can find my community. Or you can simply just go click the link in my bio and you will see the Quantum Prayer Circle right at the top. Happy Monday, everybody. So again, my name is Megan. I'm the founder and CEO of Yes God Wellness. So happy I came across you this morning. I'm so happy you did too. I am. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that God is continuing to use me as a vessel. I'm so grateful that I'm open to being used as a vessel. I'm so grateful that I was willing to take accountability for myself and I was willing to examine myself in the ways in which I was not being loving towards myself, because now it allows me to be an example for other people of how they can stop being harmful to themselves inside in their inner landscape. Because again, our relationship with ourselves sets the blueprint for our relationships with others. I just got some emails that were really good news. And that's one of the things I really like to write about is receiving good news. I love receiving good emails. I love receiving good text messages. I love receiving good phone calls, right? And so that's the other thing, is be clear about the outcome, but don't be attached to the how. A lot of our suffering comes because we're so attached to how things need to happen. Don't mind God's business. I done told y'all that, and I done told myself that. Stop minding God's business. Mind your own business. Lisa, I need to respond to your email. Let me go ahead and open it now so I can make sure that I respond this morning. Do not mind God's business. Stop trying to figure out the how. Stop thinking you know the how. That is the ego. That is the mind trying to control things. There are infinite ways. Okay? There are infinite ways that things can unfold. Us being attached to how it unfolds versus the outcome that we want causes a lot of suffering for us. Okay? Yes, God. There you are, Lisa Starr. All right. All right, y'all. All right, I'm going to get my steps in. Another way that you can connect with God, go take a walk. It's so regulating for your nervous system. It really is. And it's good for your body. It's good for your brain. It's good for everything. All right. I love y'all. I will talk to you soon. I hope you have an amazing, fantastic, beautiful day. I hope that God speaks to you very clearly today. I just finished my morning prayer time and my exercise. Happy to hear the good word. Yes, God. Yes, God. Have a blessed day, everybody. We will chat soon. Peace.